Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Whiskey Trek episode 4. Now, if you had a look at the description, you might have noticed that the word says assimilation. And we have one member of our crew that's already been assimilated, but he was previously assimilated.
We will all be assimilated.
We will all be assimilated, because I think that the Borg are definitely in this sector of space. And we have had sensor scans indicating that there is quite a large presence of Borg cubes right next to our vessel. And
we are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your whiskey. We will have your collections and its distinctiveness to our own. Your whiskey will adapt to serve us. Resistance is futile.
so, yes, we have all been assimilated.
That's perfect.
So, that's pretty cool. And then I've also, my voice has been modulated to quite a significant degree, but it only seems to work every now and then.
It just did there.
Sounds like you're far away and underwater.
Sounds like it's underwater.
It's a little so extreme that it's a little hard to understand. Freaking Borg.
Yep, bloody Borg. So I suppose, how is everybody?
I'm a little tired.
Tired? Yeah, I think we're all a little bit tired.
Yeah, I did not get a nap.
I'm quite. You didn't have a nap. I didn't have a nap either. I was up till 7 o'clock this morning last night.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
How
And then I
long the
noticed
stream was?
that a few other people.
We streamed for 9.5 hours.
9.5 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to 3.5 hours and I thought, okay, I'm going to end the stream now. And then someone else popped on stream and I thought, I want to hang out with them for 5 minutes. And I'll have another dram and then, yeah. Before I know it, that kept happening and it was 9.5 hours later.
Next minute.
Holy shit.
You only live once. What the heck? If you're going to be assimilated, you might as well get assimilated properly.
It's a lot of time to be on the bridge.
It is.
Eh?
It was a
You
good
need some
bridge.
holodeck time.
Okay. So we've got some really interesting comments already coming in. Nick has said that he just wants to say that Adriana is such a James T. Kirk fan. Here we go. That she made me go to Comic-Con so we could get our picture with him. Did you really?
I'm not that big of a Kirk fan. He's a
I
bold
was going to
face.
say, if this is a thing, if there's a story, please tell us.
I'm a Picard fan. But we did get a picture with William Shatner. But
I also
Comic-Con-
have a picture of William Shatner.
It's Adriana's story time. Give her a chance. She missed out last fortnight.
yeah, that's true. No, like Comic-Con comes to Salt Lake City every year, so we've met with William Shatner and a few others. It's too early in the morning for me to think who. Nick might know. He's in the chat. I know Chekhov, the original Chekhov, Marina Sirtis, Data, Brent Spiner, Geordie LaForge. It's hard to remember people's real names though right now.
That's really cool though. That's like seriously.
Yeah, it's super fun.
You can just use their character names. That is perfectly acceptable.
I'm like, I just feel bad for actors because I know sometimes, they want to be known
True.
as a person too.
It's like, hi, I exist. Like,
It's like, yeah, but to me, you're this.
that's it. Like, I grew up knowing you as this person. So sorry, but you are
Yeah.
this person.
Yeah, especially if you grew up knowing them as that, like as a small child, and it's like
Exactly.
I know what actors were. You're just
That's it.
Judy.
I had that moment when I was younger where they had an episode on Reading Rainbow, where LeVar Burton suddenly turned into Geordie LaForge, and it blew my mind because I was that dumb as a kid.
It's kind of amazing. Were you upset about it?
No, I was thrilled. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy I like is two people I like. Awesome.
Stop the insanity.
Yep.
I feel like Joe's having a bad week though. He's been
I have
Yeah.
been assimilated.
Yep.
I was gonna say, I'm so curious. I have so many questions, but I don't even know what to ask.
I think we just
I reckon
gotta
that's so awesome.
we gotta put him out the
I
airlock.
know.
It's too late.
No, I was gonna say, like, I just don't feel that he's fit for active duty anymore. I also feel like he's a cobbler. It's not like we're really gonna be at a loss.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm responsible.
How am I going to have my nice shiny boots?
Shoes, so I'm good.
How am I going to have
Borg have been
my
on
nice
ships
shiny
before
boots?
as crew.
He's
Yeah.
not so fully assimilated as to not be offended.
No, that's right.
The implant,
I am just looking for your useful parts.
I
including
have my useful parts are in my cup. That's about it. That's it. I'm useless tonight, I swear to God.
So, in regards to the Borg, what is everybody's like favorite episode with the Borg?
sorry.
I don't have one.
Including the movies, if you want to go the movie route.
I don't have one, to be honest. I think this is one of like the few subjects where I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I never had one. I was just big on storyline. I was like, okay, well that happened. What next?
Mhm.
And it was never like, oh my God, I love this, and oh my God, I love that. It's like, yeah, but like, what next? I'm that
You like
kid.
in like in the
Yeah.
full context of it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm that kid, which is why it's like I do have some favorite individual episodes, but almost all of the episodes that I really remember and like are standalone episodes.
Mhm.
They're ones that you can rewatch without having to be like, oh shit, now I have to go back and watch this episode as well, and then you get stuck. But
Yeah.
the rest of it is like, yeah, it all kind of turns into one giant thing. So no individual episode for me.
So I like the Q tantrum episode where he throws them into the Borg, and they actually are effective initially. Then the Borg assimilate, and then you just realize these are badass enemies.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would agree with that one.
Yeah,
That's
that-
the initial introduction is kind of hard to top, even as the board progression goes. As you know, as a
Yeah.
young kid, you see that and you're just like, oh, what is this?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. And the same thing while you're watching it, the whole crew of the Enterprise were doing the same. They were like, what are these beings? You know, what are they doing? They had no idea.
It also
Of
was
horror
kind
that
of
was
violent.
about.
It was one of the few episodes where there was actually some kind of extreme violence where they just like carve up the Enterprise, take out a bunch, and kill a bunch of people. You don't see it, but just that image.
It's implied.
Yeah.
It was always implied.
Yeah.
It's a big
So it's
hunk of space cake.
Yeah. I love Star Trek First Contact. Like, not every aspect of it, but like I love, you know, that you see them going back to Earth, and you see like Picard dealing with like his inner demons about the Borg and everything. Like, that's probably the one that I always kind of immediately think of when I think of the Borg, is like Picard having to sort of come back and face what he was forced into and turned into, and like his like still lingering anger and hatred for it. It's just like his whole Moby Dick
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
So
Yep. And every time that happened, when he was on the bridge, you know, he would hear the voices, or if he was in his ready room, he'd hear the voices, like on first contact. And yeah, that was like, ooh, that's some serious PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, Lawrence Taylor. The chick Borg was hot.
Which chick Borg are you talking about? Are you talking about the Borg Queen or 7 of 9?
I was like,
I'm guessing 7 of 9.
there's zero specification. I was like, mate, you. I was like, you left stuff open. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So personally, I think I've heard, yeah, the first introduction, a counter at Farpoint, and then obviously when they get attacked and the big chunk of space cake gets taken out, and then I've said it, you know, on Whiskey Trek before, but my fondest memory of that whole Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2, that was so full on, you know, when Picard gets assimilated and becomes the cutest of Borg, and that was like, oh my god, this is, you know, how could this happen? Yeah, it was so full on.
The funny part
And then-
about that is how short of a time it was, like in the scheme of things. You know, he was assimilated, he was, you know, Borgified for a day-ish, maybe a little more. But because they cut it seemed like an eternity.
Yeah.
Not my new favorite adjective, Borgified.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
in that day though, he destroyed 13 starships.
He's just
Yeah.
they're just out there, I don't understand the problem. There's so much hate. They're just out there eating space cake. That's it. Living their thing, doing their thing, eating space cake. People getting in the way. Bitches. Fucking bitches.
And then
Oh,
and then obviously with World 359, you know, that whole thing was massive, and you never really got to see the battle until later, but that was a huge thing. And then in Voyager, when Species 8472 came along and completely just obliterated Borg cubes like they were kids' toys when they came out of fluidic space, and my jaw dropped when I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, how can there be something more scary than the Borg? Like, the Borg with the big scaries, and then Species 8472 just came through and went, huh, Borg, pet, they're nothing. Like, wow.
Yeah. Lawrence Taylor has said, Borg Queen, women with power.
The Borg Queen is the one he dug.
Apparently.
Okay, you do you, buddy.
We're going to talk about the Borg Queen in a minute.
You do you, buddy.
Who are we? Who are we to judge, my girl? Honestly.
He likes that exposed spine. Okay, like who doesn't?
Yep, with that wiggly spine.
Memo to self. I'm gonna stick with this and not go to Joseph's stream.
Oh yeah.
And I have to agree with Chris how Deep Space Nine started with Picard as the Borg.
Yes.
And that really got to show the backstory with Cisco, why he didn't like Picard and the whole battle of 359, and you got to see all that, which, you know, built up that tension between those two. And obviously
I remember that really fucking with me
trauma.
when it started, and I was like, wait, Picard's a Borg again? Like, what's happening?
I was like, no, not again. Yeah.
The strange part was how Picard couldn't even deal with that. It's like he was immediately faced with a consequence he couldn't really handle. So he's just like, I'm captain and
Yeah, because imagine being in his shoes. It's like, well, that wasn't me, but it was me, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yes, like it's me, but it's not me. Please don't hate me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for Picard, like he's always kind of Mr. Perfect. Like, you know, he's so good at everything, and he's Mr. Diplomatic. You know, but when it comes to the whole Borg thing, that's his weak point. You know, he can't be as diplomatic or as clear thinking as he normally is, and it's like, I think it's cool because they show that, you know, realistic handling of it, as opposed to just being like, and he's Picard, so he just took it in stride. It's like, No, he's still messed
Yeah,
up
just
about
walked
it. He
in.
was
I
like-
am Picard. You are the Borg. You will get back in your box.
It made him relatable. It made him, in that moment, a lot more relatable, and it did change a lot of people's view on him because they were like, you know what? He's not just like this Captain Perfect, sometimes pretentious dick. He's like, you still loved him, even though like he did have those moments. Like you still loved him, but it kind of was like, you know what? Relatable trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It was good.
And none of that made the whole
really
Federation
brought it
completely
down to
vulnerable.
Yeah.
It made,
To have
made
their,
the
like,
Enterprise
star captain.
insignificant.
Yeah.
Yep. Made the flagship, the Enterprise useless. Made the whole Federation pretty much useless. And Picard couldn't do anything. He was hopeless. And the Borg was all-powering, omnipotent, almost, powerful force that was, very, very scary. And I like how in Deep Space Nine, how with the Defiant class, how that was built with the quantum torpedoes and all that stuff, but it was never actually used against the Borg, but that technology was straight follow-on from the Next Generation, how it carried all that through. This was another nice connection.
All right, Ken, you're convincing me to go back and rewatch Deep Space Nine. I watched it once through, and it took me, like, I could not get into it for the longest time, but it did end up good. But then I never went back and rewatched it to, enjoy it from the beginning.
It's good to
liking it.
Talk to someone who is also of the same mind. I have never gone back to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
I've never rewatched. And now I'm starting to think, maybe I should. if we're going to talk about it, shit.
I've been back to Deep Space Nine, Voyager, the Next Gen, the original series, so many times. Yeah, I can't not.
Enterprise? I haven't.
Oh, Enterprise. Yeah, I actually was thinking about that quite a few times. I was like, I need to go back and sit and watch all of Enterprise again.
Yeah, I think I would like it more now than I did then.
Over the past year, I watched everything like twice, all of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Helped me cope.
Good way.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
No, I quite often it is comfort food. I totally agree. It is comfort. Like even when you just don't feel like doing anything or you don't want to watch anything, it's like there's always Star Trek. You can always find a nice.
There's literally just thinking that David goes back to Sci soon. He's on a call out for the next couple of days at the moment, but he comes back probably Monday or Tuesday. And then he goes to site at the end of next week. And he'll be gone for, I think, like anywhere between an unknown 5 and I think 8 weeks this time. Oh, wow. So I was like, I'm probably just going to binge it. Like, because I barely sleep in Isaiah's. I'm just going to binge it. I'm going to start from the start and just see how far I can actually get.
Yes.
Before I'm like, you know what? No. Fuck this.
Need a break, need something different.
It's like an Aliens or a Predator movie in there, just to break it up a little bit. Maybe some AVP.
Well, we need to do watch parties. So we can always do watch parties.
We were originally talking about that when we start organizing this and getting this all started. We did discuss that.
Yeah.
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 So we've got 2 ways we can do it. We can do watch parties. So we can do it in Discord. So we can actually, someone can share the screen so we can have it and do it that way. The other way is we can actually do it like this on the stream. So we can still have it running on Discord and everyone else on the stream can put it on their own TV. And then we say, okay, we're about to start, and we can start, and then we can like almost have commentary over the episode while everyone.
I see. That way people like not that aren't in the Discord can be watching it too.
That way because there are people that do watch us and everything in our chat. That it does give them that opportunity. It's going to be the majority are going to be like Americans and stuff like that because all of my friends are over East, just like Chris actually, and they're just like, man, fuck you. You're live at like 1 a.m. Why do you do this shit? Like,
we're also going to do the time flip thing. So
one of my mates, I was talking to her earlier, and she's like, well, send me the link and everything because I want to support you. And I told her flat out, like, it's fine, don't stress. It's not my channel. It's just this really cool thing I do still, but it's all good because I know it's 1 a.m. for her. And I'm just like, dedicate. Whoa, look at the background.
Yeah.
Ray, we're getting our engineer in.
Finally.
So
I'm so proud of you.
is this the OBS Ninja background, or are you using the previous method?
The Zoom. Oh, are we
The Zoom
not allowed to
method,
say
yeah.
that on OBS?
No, you can say
Jen?
that.
I'm like,
Jim?
Yep.
Jim?
Hello.
Are you using the previous method, or are you using the OBS method for your
I'm
background?
still using the previous message.
Okay, cool.
Hot Buttery Rolls is in for
You
the.
get around the copyright as well via Discord. Yeah, exactly.
I come to that.
Can I come to that? Sounds like an amazing
Oh, I know what's going on.
heaven dream
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
There we go.
Here's Buttery Rolls exactly. I'm having a moment.
No, I forgot to mute YouTube, so I'm hearing all sorts of discordant sounds.
Oh, you're getting the echo coming through.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hearing like the conversation 5 seconds ago and what people were saying now. It's a little disorienting.
Yeah.
This is the previous method. I haven't quite worked out the virtual background in OBS Ninja.
All right, we'll have to try that at another time.
I swear I was going to be on time, but
Anyway.
you know, the junior engineers have a party the night before and play with all the settings, and then the chief comes in the morning and has to undo the mess.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Cool.
So I posted the link. Did I pin that? Yeah, I pinned that. So anyone else wants to come in and talk Star Trek? Do the Borg fear Indian software scammers? Or they have assimilated them. Anyway.
Jim, what's your favorite episode, appearance, movie
Oh God!
of the Borg?
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
You're welcome. You've had all this time to think
Yeah,
about it.
I know. I guess if I had to pick one off the top of my head, it was probably and I can't remember the name of the episode, but it was the one where they found Hugh, because it humanized them a little bit. Because up until that point, it's like, oh, you've been assimilated, now you're Borg, you're evil, and there's no middle ground here.
Yeah.
And then we found Hugh, and it's like, okay, so
Yeah,
maybe
that's true. There is a possibility.
there is something to this.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I forgot about
Yeah.
right now. I forgot about the Hugh episode, but I love the Hugh episode.
Do you see what I mean? That's
That's
exactly what I was saying earlier, Adriana, about how it all just becomes this one thing when you get so invested in something. It becomes this one thing. It's those small little standalones every now and then, or that one intense scene, which Ken was talking about the other day, a couple of weeks ago, where you are forced to wait like a whole freaking season until you get completion that you're after. No pun intended, guys. Back up. That's it.
And Donald is correct. Yes. Enterprise episode Regeneration is the first time in the Star Trek timeline that the Borg was shown. That is correct.
Oh,
and I think the one
I
with
haven't
Hugh
seen
is
much of
Eyeball.
Enterprise. I was just thinking when I asked you about Enterprise, I was thinking, well, clearly that doesn't have Borg, because now I'm gonna have to watch it and see. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So Enterprise has the Borg episode, and then you got Next Generation, Voyager, and then First Contact.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
So no Deep Space Nine Borg, other than the first
Other
intro
than
part.
the Picard, but yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah, the problem I have with that episode is I think what became one of the biggest gripes about that whole entire series is that it retconned a whole bunch of stuff along the way that it didn't need to. Like, it was understood that they didn't encounter the Borg until Next Generation. Now it's like, no, they found them earlier. We just didn't know about it.
Yeah,
Really?
it was meant to be a encounter at Farpoint with Q. He's like, here you go, here's some Borg for you.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's like, we thought if they had encountered them back then, they'd have notes somewhere in a database.
Yeah, you'd think so.
It's like some of the retconning just didn't work.
Prequel stuff.
They did that with Ferengi too, which is kind of funny.
They did that with what?
And the Klingons.
Ferengi.
And the Klingons.
They just kind of showed up, and it's like, wait, they weren't. What? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking Ferengi.
Yeah. Actually got a figurine. I don't know where it is, but I do have a figurine of that Klingon from Enterprise.
Yeah. I think that's the hard thing about doing a prequel, especially a prequel show, not just movie kind of thing, is like, how do you tie in things that were clearly initially introduced in the previous shows? Like, that's kind
And
of...
that was what was cool idea with doing the Kelvin timeline, because you could.
Right.
It was a different timeline. You could get away with it.
You could totally start over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a different universe timeline. And your brain would separate it and you'd be fine.
Yep.
Speaking of Klingons, I'm sitting on the streetcar close to someone who smells like a Klingon.
Oh, buddy.
Oh boy.
I'm sure
That's where you
Klingons
just...
smell wonderful.
Yeah, and that's why you just go out and you patak.
I just know they are musty with a hint of lilac. Last I checked.
With a hint of lilac.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's exactly the hint of lilac. Noise. So, since we are doing Borg, there's only one Borg this year.
I suppose
Also,
not.
I just realized your lighting is green in the background. That's
I noticed it at the beginning, and I was going to say something, but I was like,
It's my regeneration cove. I mean, come on.
But what color was it last fortnight? I was like, remember, because if you say something, and he's like, no, it was green last fortnight, you just look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. It's like, oh, now it's green. It's
It was
always
blue
green.
when we started,
Yeah.
and then we brought up, I
warm?
got assimilated, and then we went to green. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that completely.
Sorry. It was too subtle for us.
It's all good.
We noticed
Oh,
that.
that's funny. So, the question is, for everybody on the panel, our crew, if the Borg... Say sorry in Borg. Sorry. Borg don't say sorry.
Sorry, the work the resistance is futile, you will be assimilated. There's no sorry when the Borg. Not in no
The sorry would be, that input is incorrect. Does not compute. We will adapt and assimilate you. And that's the only other sorry.
Yeah.
No, the sorry is usually that is not relevant.
Yeah, insignificant.
Yeah,
Irrelevant.
something like
Yeah,
that.
that's it. Irrelevant. Insignificant.
Okay, so the whiskey. What just happened? What the?
I have no idea.
That's great.
That is great. Must be frightening being a Borg. Everyone knows each other's thoughts and browsing.
Oh boy.
Oh god. That was there for Donald. Nice.
And g'day to the Whiskey Wiggle. The Whiskey Wiggle says, "Oh, Rihanna never sleeps and lives on YouTube?" ? No fucking clue what he's talking about, but okay.
He helped explain how to pronounce my name, Adriana.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Rihanna.
okay, I was gonna say, is he trying to say Adriana? Is that what he's trying to say? But he just doesn't know how to spell. I was like, someone clear this up for me.
It's a way to because a lot of people say Adriana, so he put.
Yes, I'm guilty of that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it's like sort of the automatic assumption. It's fine, but that's why he calls me.
So this
Adriana,
blend,
which is perfect.
This blends into my background quite nicely. And yes, it is the Chateau Louis Vuitton. So.
I've heard of that, and every time I think it's to do with the
Now
barber.
prepare your whiskey for assimilation. Resistance is futile.
So now that everybody's whiskey is going to be assimilated, what whiskey on your shelf, so in your collection, would the Borg assimilate that would reach their ideals of perfection?
Hmm.
I'm so ready because I thought about this.
Oh, you thought about this? Excellent.
We all know your answer.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not what you think it is, because that'll probably be my answer for
Now I just want to know, please tell us.
for the other question. So the only thing is I only have samples of it because I am not rich.
Doesn't matter. It's still whiskey.
But it would be Old
They would
Carter.
replicate it.
Oh wait, you can't see that. Oh well, it would be Old Carter. I have
Which
two
one?
samples of. I have batch 5 and batch 6, and they're both stupid good. But maybe batch 5. If they were only going to pick one, I think Old Carter batch 5 is amazing. It's already a blend, so like it's already taken the best elements of other whiskeys and become this extremely amazing version. And it's a delicious bitch.
It's delicious.
So batch 5 would be immediately assimilated to
Yeah.
help join
Yeah.
become the ultimate whiskey perfection.
I think it would blend.
What about
in
the
well.
other extreme in your collection? Because I know you've got some peated scotches.
Oh yeah, actually, I brought that over too. I think if they were gonna, and this is more just me being excited about this one, maybe the Lagavulin Offerman edition, the new one finished in Guinness Stout.
Guinness.
I was going to say Guinness.
Nice.
Yeah, that whole like peated Scotch, but like creaminess of a Guinness Stout.
Yeah.
On the end, yeah, that's a nice combination of textures and flavors. So
Okay, so now your challenge is to blend those two. Just see if it was perfection.
See, and this right here, this is what I was afraid of, because my two are one that I fucking hate and I will not drink, and my other one is my favorite in my collection, and it's in storage. So I don't even have it with me. So I just got a couple of my favorite go-tos instead. Because I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking Octomore 11.1. I'd rather kill myself.
oh my god.
I hate it. I fucking hate it. It's disgusting. But I bought it.
Do you not like peat?
I just can't handle it. I'm an ex-smoker. I quit smoking like 7-8 years ago, and now everything peated tastes like I'm licking an ashtray.
That's fair. That's fair. I've never smoked, so maybe it doesn't have the negative
It
connotation.
seems though, like I really, really like the smell of quite a few of the lesser peated whiskies, and they smell so good. So those I am attempting to drink. Like I'm working on acclimating to drink them. But
Yeah.
Octomore is never going to be a thing for me. I bought them because David loves them, and I'm not ashamed.
In response to Cheech, I think I agree. I mean, I've had, this much of batch 5 and about the same of batch 6. But I think if I had to choose, batch 5 might be my favorite. Just because the palate is so, batch 6 has better mouthfeel, but the palate on 5 and the finish is just ridiculously amazing. So, and then freaking Donald Rance just got that Offerman edition. Yep.
Yeah,
See how you like
You're
it.
lucky.
I'm a time about that because we've got the delay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I already have the first one. I've got the first Offerman edition, and I'm so keen for this one. I need to get I need to get my hands on 2 bottles.
Yeah. What
So
was funny
jealous.
was I walked into the liquor store the day after I did a huge peated Scotch flight with Whiskey Crusaders that they sent me samples and was like, oh yeah, okay, turns out I really like finished peated Scotch. And the next day we went into the liquor store just kind of looking around, not for anything special. And some other guy was like, hey, the store just got all these Offermans. Like, I'm going to go bug them for them to bring him out or whatever. So we just kind of randomly got one because he was getting one.
That's fantastic. That's so good. It hadn't even hit the shelves yet.
Yeah, the people didn't know what he was talking about because people who work at liquor stores here don't really know anything about what they're selling.
Because the hype around this is massive. So it's like once it hit the shelves, you'd be lucky to count it again.
Yeah, that's why this guy was like on it and been tracking inventory in the state kind of thing because it's all state run, so you can do that. And so he was like, he knew that it had gotten sent out from the warehouse that day and delivered to this store. And was like there bugging them to get the box, and we're just like, oh hey, we'll take one too.
Yeah, my guys up at Main Liquor in Perth, they're the ones I was able to get my Octomores from, And they sent me a message when they found out that they were getting 2 bottles in, and they're like, "Hey, look, we're getting 2 bottles in. They arrive on this day," which was like a week later. Like, "Do you want us to put a bottle aside for you so you can get it before we even put the other one on the shelf?" And I was like, "Yes." I'm just actually just giving me an idea. I might send him a message tomorrow and be like, hey James, do me a favor. Let me know if you guys are ordering this. If you are, order me 2 bottles so I can guarantee some.
Yeah.
Ryan, shouldn't
That's
that
the
be
hookup.
your whiskey will now be assimilated?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's this one.
We are the Borg. You will now prepare your whiskey for assimilation. Resistance is futile.
Yes. So good. Okay, what were other people's
I'm so curious
So
what
now
Joe's.
that you've picked those 2 whiskies that are going to be assimilated by the Borg to make the best whiskey, you have to blend those 2 together.
not gonna happen.
Well, in that case, you have to pick some whiskies that you would, out of
But
your
you
collection,
only
if
picked-
you were going to assimilate.
You only picked one.
No, this was my Borg one just to drink now. I haven't picked my ones that are going to be assimilated.
Oh, okay. I thought that was your one that was gonna be assimilated. Okay, gotcha.
No. This is just because it's green. It's very Borg-like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's just drink Typico's whiskey.
So the question now is,
'cause-
if I was gonna pick 2 to be blended.
Well, not only 2, it could be 5, but what whiskies in your collection, if you were going to assimilate your whiskies, so what would be
So that they
your
all
favourite
become-
whiskies to assimilate together to make the most perfect whiskey out of your collection?
I did not know that was the question. Gonna have to think of.
Yeah.
That should be the second round of question, so that I can think about it. And
I was going to say, okay, so now we're aware there's 2
what was assimilated, right?
List your questions. So you have to think about it. So the Borg want to reach perfection, so they get everything from different cultures, and they use their technological and biological distinctiveness to complement their own to reach maximum perfection. So if the Borg were to come along and look at your collection, they go, what would they grab to add to the collection of epic whiskies to make the ultimate whiskey for perfection?
Right,
And
that's
then
question 1.
If you were, so that was question 1. But then, if you were going to assimilate your own whiskey collection, just your collection itself, no other whiskies in your collection, what would be your blend assimilation?
Yeah. So once everybody else answers question 1, then I will try to answer question 2. Because I have to think of that. Nobody else.
Very weak.
Who's next?
Just answering just a couple of quick comments on our live chat. First off, there's a compliment for your amazing sitting skills, Master Cobbler.
He is Borg.
I'm not going to lie.
He is Borg.
He would sit for a tattoo fantastically.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is Borg.
JD, I finally tracked down the Glenfiddich 14 US exclusive, waiting for delivery in California. You're like my favorite freaking human being right now.
Are you getting the Whiskey Club one, which is the Glenfiddich 14 version oak?
Yes. I'm talking to my boy bestie back down in Sydney at the moment about it, because I got him into the Whiskey Club mid last year, and he's coming up for my birthday. He's coming up at the end of July, and he's like, "I'll bring you over a birthday present." And I was like, "Cool," because he just had his. I was like, "I'll have a birthday present, like whiskey, waiting for you here." And we were talking about the Whiskey Club release when we got the emails yesterday. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know." I was like, "Dude, you have no idea how amazing this whiskey is going to be. Like, this is fucking up here on my list." And he's like, "Meh." I was like, "Well, get it." He's like, "Yeah, but why? I want it." It's like, I'm still going to get it. Don't get me wrong, I'm still getting it. But get me a bottle.
Yeah.
You get it, and just give it to me on my birthday. So I have two.
Yep.
It's a win-win.
I'm definitely getting
I don't have to worry about missing one double up. If I hit double up and I don't get one, I still know I'm getting 2 bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Win-win.
That's it.
Exactly.
I see zero problem with this.
It also helps
Yeah,
me out.
I don't see a problem at all.
Exactly how much he's paying plus postage. So it gives me my budget to get him something awesome within the same budget. So I don't feel like I'm like skimping out on him or anything. That's good.
I like it.
Okay. So I'll go first. Or next. So I'll definitely have to pick this one, which is the Glen Scotia 2020 Campbelltown Festival release. So this would have to be assimilated by the Borg because it's so fucking good. I mean, this is Glen Scotia Campbelltown Funk with peat and port blended perfectly together in absolute harmony. So the Borg would definitely assimilate their hands onto that. Because if I was a Borg, I'd be assimilating that. So then I'm going to have to add some Russells, because Russells is good. So I'm going to add some Russells.
You better mix these. Otherwise, you just gave Adriana shit for nothing.
Right?
Hey, look, I've got my glass, I've got my dropper, I'm ready to blend, so... Lagerborn 16.
All
Gotta have some peat in there, so...
You 16 Captain Law, he's
Actually,
like a giant fucking child.
I thought you said the first one was
I'm a
peat.
child. Well, this is Campbelltown peat. It's completely different to Isla peat.
Oh,
It's
okay.
completely different beast. Yeah, so this is Lagerborn 16.
Really quickly,
I could
I know
substitute
there's going to be some people that don't know that. Explain why.
Okay, so the Isla down the bottom south is a real iodine-y, different kind of peat. So you've got different peat. It's vegetable matter that grows in different regions, and depending on where it's grown, and also the level of peat. So if you take the top layer, it's got a lot more vegetal, heathery notes. And if you go down the real low layer, then that's more earthy, broken down material. So it's going to be a lot more iodine. Whereas the Highland peat is a lot more floral and light and more smoky. So this stuff will come across as smoky, but the Highland peat or Campbelltown is a lot more funky kind of peat as well. So they're all different.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with like the different profiles for peat. I'm definitely a noob at peat.
So none of the Johnny Walker from the other night then, Chris? Oh, I don't know, because I've already got the Lagavulin, so the Lagavulin's in there, so that fits. And then, what else would have to be assimilated? Let's have a look. I mean, you're going to have... That's going to have to be assimilated. So I'm thinking a wide range has to be assimilated. So I've got some bourbon, we've got some peat, we've got the awesomeness of that. Then we need something. Probably. We'll go with this. Kleinleash 14. I think that will do.
Oh, okay.
That's a good range there.
Yeah.
It gives you a bit of everything. Done.
So 3 scotches and a Russell's, and you're gonna blend them all together.
Well, this is what the Borg would assimilate. What I would assimilate in my collection
Okay.
is going to be different, but it
Gotcha.
might have some of this in it, and it might have some of this, or I might go with the Lost Monarch. I don't know yet.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Who's
it.
next?
Anybody got theirs? Come on, Jem.
Come on. What would the Borg assimilate out of your collection?
Out of my collection? Okay, well, first off, and I grabbed this while I was up. This is gonna work or not? It's trying.
Oh,
No,
cloaking
probably
is
not.
on again.
There we go.
I'll put this in too, by the way, since it's a Borg bottle. It's got a
Oh,
gotta have that.
Borg bottle.
This is green.
It's a Borg bottle there.
This is Loch Lomond Inchmere 12th, and it is
Oh, nice. Good choice.
easily one of my favorite bottles. It's got a little wistful like smoky peat on the bottom, but it's mostly fruit forward, apricot, peach. It's just a beautiful whiskey. So I was thinking that. I was thinking Bunnahabhain. Let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. Thank God Roy's not here. Takakaga. It's written out Toikichata.
Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah.
That sounds Klingon to me.
Really?
Sensei.
Which is a peanut.
Gesundheit.
Which is a peated Bunnahabhain. So you've got, the sort of sherry spice that Bunnahabhain usually has, and you add this like a smoky peat note to it, and you get this wonderful melding of flavors that I haven't found in anything else that I can think of. So that's 2.
I think that's exactly what the Borg would get. Unique things from each.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. This is unique, this is unique, this is unique,
Yeah.
this is unique. Yep.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Joe?
So this is to answer Frederick's question. The Borg has already assimilated a little bit of Indian scammer software, so they've already defeated that. So this is a little bit of Paul John. And to make them more efficient, they have assimilated Japanese software. So a little bit of Hibiki harmony.
Oh, you asshole.
And to kick your ass, they will definitely assimilate a little bit of Redbreast Irish.
See, it's not just me having the facing bottles problem. Back off.
And then, because the Borg are a bunch of tater hunters, land.
They would be.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic. That's really good, actually.
I kind of wish now that we could just call taters Borg. Like,
Oh my god, this is the day. It's so good.
Tater Borg.
Tater Borg. Borgado? Borgado?
Oh my god. Borgado? Borgado.
Hard.
Borgado.
Borgado.
I'm moving for Borgado.
Hey, Torg.
Sounds like it's something to eat.
Yeah, I'm just saying, no, that doesn't. Adriana just won the internet tonight. Borgado.
Borg potatoes.
That's it.
I don't sound as menacing a borg potato. It sounds like some little small potato dish that you eat, like a nugget or something.
Really? Oh, it sounds adorable.
Borg potato.
I love it. I think
It's very similar to tater tot. You know?
it's both adorable and at the same time you're like, what?
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's see. Where's my listing?
All right, who's next? Your whiskey is about to be assimilated. What are they going to assimilate? Julie?
See, it's kind of a trap for me now because, Joe's a dick. He took my harmony. It's like my favorite freaking
He is a Borg. You can say harmony as well.
I said a
Well
thirst.
collected. I think that.
Yeah, like I honestly think that I only really could think of 2, but they're drastically different things for a very good reason. And it was my Hibiki Harmony bottle because it's this beautiful like herbal sweet sherry candy fruitness that they're going to be like, okay, cool, this is already a blend of the best. And then they're going to automatically be like, okay, completely other end of the scale, Octomore 11.1. It's peat, spice. The barley was malted to 39.6 BPM. Like, it's both disgusting and beautiful. You can't really get much more different. And if you insist on throwing something mid-range in there, chuck in the Dalwhinnie 15. It's still fantastic, but it's so well balanced around it that it appeases pretty much both groups of people, like the peat heads and the more sweeter, butterscotchy, warmth in the chest kind of people. So those would be my three for that. And again, I'm not mixing them because I'm not a fucking savage. If I was going to mix, the ones that I got that I would be comfortable mixing tonight are my Naked Grouse, because I found that I enjoy that like a lot more than I was expecting.
You have to do it, by the way.
Which is why I'm saying
You have to,
the ones that I've
you have
grabbed,
to simulate your whiskey.
they're sitting right here. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, let's run it.
It's my Naked Grouse, my Singleton, the Malt Masters. I really like that a lot more than I liked the 12 though, which is apparently an unpopular opinion. So I do that, the Singleton, and my current favorite is my Glenlivet Double Oak. They're the three that I'd mix. For me to kind of like find that perfect blend in between all of them, that'd be it. Mainly because my Dalwhinnie is in storage. Otherwise, I'd put that in there.
Put that in there as well.
Almost definitely. It'd be like 90% Dalwhinnie and like a drop of everything else. And that's it.
All right, Brian.
So much thinking. My head hurts.
You're lost, dude. You've had tons of time to think.
It's never enough time. My brain bounces around so much. First, I should talk about... Start. So when I thought about Borg assimilating, I didn't take into blends at all. I was like, it was a whole different... My brain went in a whole different direction. I was like, oh, okay, if the Borg assimilated my whiskey, they would go for the highest proof stuff because they can make it into some kind of fuel. Okay. That's where my brain went. So I picked a bunch of high proof. Yeah, that's where my head went. I'm like, well, if they actually assimilated it, they want it to be some kind of useful thing. So I grabbed I thought of a bunch of the highest proof stuff I have as far as what they'd want to get. And then I also went in the direction of thinking about which distillery is the kind of Borg queen. And I pretty much just looked at Buffalo Trace because they get people. They just bring them in. It's like, oh, Blanton's, oh, Weller, oh, E.H. Taylor. Join us. Yes, good. We'll take your money while we're at it. Yeah, so you join up, Jordan.
We'll assimilate into our collective.
Mm-hmm. As far as the specific bottle, though, I had to think this one over a bit. It was complicated. I'm defaulting to one I like, and that's just Four Roses stuff because of how they have... I was even looking it up. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah, the 10 recipes thing, and they kind of blend all these different things together to get a whole bunch of different varieties. So I think the Borg would be kind of into that. And it sounds Borgish. They have OBSV, OBSK, OESO. They have these range of just different random things that don't make sense, but it's all this stuff they put into their mash bill to make their products. So that's kind of what I default to. Yeah, they like weird numbers and stuff. But as far as the actual bottles that I would assimilate, I guess, and also I thought the Borg would do is because of the high proof stuff. I have, and I'm not sure if these are all of them. I didn't really look through everything, but I have a 58.3% bullet bourbon, just the barrel strength. Then I have this one, which is a special Knob Creek pick from its Bourbon Night. It has the nice little sticker on the back. What's this? Mash Made in Heaven.
Oh, that's cute.
No.
This is, of course, it's 60%. So there's that. And then I can only go one step higher. And if I mix all these together, it's going to be a little weird, probably. Don't fall over. Don't fall over. Thank you. That's Alberta Premium. Cast strength rye. 66%. So if the board can make all these into fuel, I'm sure they can manage that, basically. Somehow. Those are my answers.
I think using Alberta Premium cast strength is as fuel instead of to drink is a terrific idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought of when I thought of Borg assimilating stuff. I'm like, okay, they'd take all my whiskey and turn it into some kind of fuel source.
Yeah.
As far as blends, though, I think I'd probably pick, similar to Joe, is the first thing that came to mind is the Nika from the barrel, because Japan did that thing where they're like, yay, this, Scotch as well, and it's Japanese whiskey. We blended all this together to create this magical thing.
Fuck you, Joe. I'm gonna go to bed and I'm just gonna be salty about this.
Yes, Ben. That is the assimilated
Old Man Joe.
Ensign Joe.
No.
Alright. So now you have to blend your choice of assimilated.
Julie's always salty.
Oh,
You have to make it blend.
I'm going to have to be very careful.
Yeah, you're going to be very careful. I'm starting with the base of Redwood Empire Lost Monarch.
Right. Well, everyone is doing that. We do have 15 active people, and we've been live for 58 minutes. So, good evening. Welcome to Whiskey Track. We have our captain, Captain Osiris, and this is the USS Drumlords. The Nightbot, as you can see, has been quite lenient in her spamming and her posting this evening. She will be posting social media links, so please feel free to follow those. We do also have a Patreon. It also has a PayPal link, so if you wish to support Scotch Down Under and the crew of the USS Drumlords, you are more than welcome to do so. There is no obligation. It just kind of helps us keep the lights on at night. Tonight we are on episode 4 of season 1. We are talking Borg assimilation, what our whiskies from our own personal collections will be assimilated to create the perfect whiskey. At the start of this episode, if you do want to rewatch and go back, we were discussing favorite Borg episodes. So there is also that if you would just prefer to watch that at the beginning. If you do want to see more lives like this, please feel free to subscribe. Do not forget to hit that like button and the teeny tiny little bell. You will get notifications when Ken puts up a, what are they called? The timers? What do you call them? Yeah, no, like the,
What?
when you preset the episode and it has the little, like, it's got the episode in 2 hours or whatever. Right. What are they
Scheduled episode.
Yeah, so you'll get like a scheduled episode notification will pop up for you. So don't forget to hit that like button, hit that little bell, and you can sit here and get irritated by us. It's great.
And if you're new here,
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your whiskey. We will add your collections and its distinctiveness to our own. Your whiskey will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
all your whiskey is now ours.
That is amazing.
Alright, so I've started with Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. I've added a little bit of sherry, so from the Caledonia, Edgewater Caledonia. Now I'm going to add a little bit of port from Martin 14. Just a little bit of port. Then I'm going to add some waxy deliciousness from the Kleinlich 14.
Hang on a second.
So the ultimate blend.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's whiskey perfection. Borg style.
That's a squeaky bottle.
What's this? So that was
DRJ bottles. Yep. DRJ bottles are always super squeaky. They're tight like a tiger. They always sound good.
Kyoko, did you have a bug?
What? I didn't do it.
Did you have a bug?
Huh?
You were like,
No, these got tangled up.
oh,
I untangled them very professionally.
my computer really hates OBS, and like everything's a bit fuzzy, which I'm sure coming out fuzzy too. But so I can't
That's
see the
because
headphones.
you are being assimilated.
Yeah, you
Solid
are being
point.
assimilated.
Solid point. That's fine.
Yep.
Shouldn't they have made my vision better?
Your vision is not useful.
No, the little implant and improve it.
The implants are for other uses, not optical vision.
Well, shit.
All
All
right.
right, I'm gonna be curious to see how this ends up tasting.
So what was
Add a
blending?
tiny bit of Russell's Reserve, small batch. All right, so now I want some Highland peat and I want some Lowland peat.
Yeah. What were you gonna say,
Ken-
Jim?
I'm gonna add.
Well, first I was going to say Ken's getting fancy up there. You wanted all sorts of stuff. Is that a blend or a cocktail? Ingredients. No.
Yeah.
So, have any of you read any of the Star Trek novels, specifically the ones that William Shatner wrote with help?
Oh, I've got
No.
them, but I haven't read them. And it's been a long time
All right.
since I read a Star Trek novel.
I'm
I
pretty sure,
didn't know that.
but I don't know.
Trying to
I
figure out
know
how I
those
can
ones
explain
exist.
this without giving away spoilers.
Okay.
I mean, I suppose it doesn't matter that much because it's not like it's in universe.
Right.
But basically, ignoring the first Shatner novel, we'll ignore that one because it's not relevant to this. Every single novel after that going forward starts at the end of Generations, Generations, and basically Kirk gets revived and his journey continues on, and he goes through all sorts of wild and wacky bullshit involving Scotty and Spock and the Mirror Universe and the TNG crew and.
So it's fan
Anyway,
fiction.
in the second book, the first one where he's revived, basically this female Romulan commander revives him because she's the granddaughter of the Romulan commander in. Oh, what's that? I always forget this damn episode name. Son of a bitch.
I'm not good at my
It was the original series episode where they first encountered the Romulans. I never remember the name of it.
I'm not good at.
Oh, that's
episode
the
names,
neutral
but I think
zone,
I know
isn't
what
it?
you're talking
I'm gonna have to look at this. Is pissing me off.
It's something like neutral zone or something like that.
about. So
I think
he's
another one you're talking about.
saved by her, resuscitated by her.
Yeah,
That's
because she's met. Balance of Terror. Why the fuck do I never remember that?
Oh.
God, that's annoying.
Balance of Terror, yeah.
Yeah, so she revives him because she's mad. She blames him for killing her grandfather, which if you've ever actually seen Balance of Terror, wasn't quite what happened. And so she has partnered up with the Borg because basically she's using them to revive Kirk, and the Borg are going to use Kirk to kill Picard, and they're
Holy Kirk,
supposedly
yay.
gonna take over the Federation. And I forgot what my point was. Fuck.
Oh.
It was. No, damn it! I had a reason I brought that up, and I can't remember what the hell it was. That's super annoying.
Welcome to my life.
Oh, I remember. So basically, it was funny because you go into this whole novel, and it's becoming increasingly apparent that even though she's she has tied the Romulans to the Borg. The Borg don't really care. The Borg are like, yeah, this is a means to an end. You're all fucked anyway, even if you don't realize it. You're all getting assimilated.
Yep. Anybody who thinks that they're partnering with the Borg is wrong. Like,
Well, Voyager did.
So, oh, true.
Yeah,
That
they
went
did
well
work
for like
like-
2
They
minutes.
had to.
Yeah.
Hey?
Once they finally had an enemy that could.
Oh,
scare them.
Yeah, they had
species
species
879 or whatever it
472.
was.
They had to get
472,
rid
yeah.
of them. Yeah.
It's just how often are you gonna
That
have a
ship-
common enemy with a Borg?
Yeah. Yep. Your enemy is my enemy kind of thing.
But yeah, as far as those books go, I would say
21, Temporis.
Holy
the first
crap.
trilogy is worth reading. The second one is okay. I didn't only get halfway through the second trilogy, and the third one I've read the first book and nothing else because it just gets so out there. It's like, okay, Jesus.
Are there like books that are canon? I've never read really any of the.
I don't think there are any that are canon. No, not to my
Okay.
knowledge, at least.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, as far as not canon, the biggest point of contention there is the animated series. Some people say it is, some people say it isn't. Roddenberry hated it.
Oh, so it seems probably not.
Except little bits and pieces of it have been, for lack of a better word, assimilated into the canon. Like Kirk's middle name Tiberius, that came from the animated series. That's completely where that came from.
Oh.
And I
And
know
Beam
they,
Me Up Scotty was never ever seen in any Star Trek episode. It was in the animated series.
yeah, it was. Beam us up, Scotty. Like all the present. I don't even know what episode that's in. I can go find it.
Yeah. And the holodeck. The holodeck was actually first
Really?
in the animated series. Yep.
Oh.
The first ever idea of the holodeck was actually in one of the, I can't remember the name of the episode, but yeah, it's in the animated series.
Oh.
But yeah, so it is and it isn't. And
Yeah.
Frederick, TMI.
Yeah, man. Exactly. All right. So I'm about to sample my simulated blend to see if it needs any more augmentation. So I've got Lagavulin 9. I couldn't be bothered to open the 16, it's a fresh bottle. Clynelish 14, Tomatin 14 port, Russell's Reserve 10 small batch, single barrel, sorry. Edredor Caledonia. Then I've got Redboard Empire Lost Monarch and Benrick 21 Temporis. So I've got
Wow.
sherry, waxy malts. I got port. I got Highland peat, Lowland Isla peat, and I've got some lovely.
How full is that glass?
Sherry.
What's your ratio?
How full? I've only been putting little bits in it. It's like a standard pour.
Oh wow. It's
Right.
Yeah. I've only put little bits.
Wow.
It smells
How's
pretty
it
good.
Peter Pays whiskey.
Smells pretty good.
Jim. Jim, are you on the East Coast?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, what time is it there?
Did you just like randomly just pour away?
What?
Did he pour? Did he just like randomly pour, or was he like?
He just held up a glass. Oh no, he was. It looked like he was pouring straight from the bottle. Ken.
Ken?
Yeah, I poured straight. Well, I poured straight
Yeah.
from the bottom, but I also used to drop it from like the Isle of Peat and make sure I would only got a little bit of the Isle of Peat because it would just overpower the whole dram otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 10 past 12 here, which means it's 10 past midnight over there for the Aussies.
Right.
Sorry.
Correct.
It is. I actually
It's
opened.
fine.
What was that?
It's fine. So, while we're doing
Yeah,
our
but
blends,
no.
who else is doing their blend? Is everyone doing their blend?
I've done mine.
You've done yours?
Actually,
Right,
I
I'm gonna let
went,
mine
into
sit
my,
for a
I went
bit.
into my first aid kit because I wanted to be like really specific. So I knew never to try these exact measurements again if it's shit. I actually opened. I opened a proper 10 ml syringe.
I love that.
Yes, I agree. I liked T'Pol. I liked Deanna Troy. I liked 7 and 9. and I liked Jadzia Dax.
Oh, I love Jadzia Dax
Yeah,
as a character.
All the guys like the eye candy. Moving on.
yeah, the eye candy. But
Yeah.
I actually really liked the character Jadzia Dax. I thought her character.
Oh yeah,
was-
sure.
Yeah. I mean, but
No, I
T'Pol's
did.
outfit was very much like as cling as possible.
Yes.
Jadzia was just like a gorgeous
Exactly.
woman in a
To
normal
appear
Star
to
Trek.
the young male audience. Yes.
Yeah,
For that demographic. Yeah.
Jadzia Dax was just awesome. Bashir didn't have a chance.
Nope.
Oh, poor Dr.
Even though he
Bashir.
was a superhuman. Oh, I'm gonna hit my cough button.
Okay. So you're making your blend right now?
Who did what?
Are you making? You're making your blend right now?
I've just finished. I'm fucking terrified. So this is the color it went.
Okay, it's pretty light.
So like that's actually. I'm trying to like make sure I don't get shadow on it. That's it.
Captain, I think you pushed the button a little too late. So now you're muted.
It doesn't smell horribly though.
God damn it.
There you go.
Oh wow! Good
Yeah,
on
we
you,
heard
first
you cough.
officer.
And then
Well, I heard him cough. I'm like,
Thank you,
you
number
want
one.
that? And now he's talking and nothing's being heard. Okay.
Engineer, get onto that.
Just blame the Borg. It's always the Borg. The Borg did it. Messing
Yeah, the
with
Borg
the
did it.
if I can get it to cooperate. Come on.
That is 100% not. No, kind of.
Yeah. You gotta stick it in your face. That's it.
It kind of works.
Put it up.
Big
There you
white
go.
face.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Up on the forehead.
It does.
Yes,
You gotta
that's my
put it in your
blend.
face because then the algorithm doesn't pick up. Yeah.
It's just the two bottles I mentioned that you can't see because I'm in interface face. And we'll have to see how this works because I'm kind of fighting a cold, so my sniffer is not really working that well.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, I think my blend is fucking delicious.
Oh hell yeah!
It's actually really good. It's got so much going on in there. It's
I kind of was worried that
No.
with so much going on that it would, not like it would just be too much going on, kind of thing.
No, it's actually really balanced and kind of got quite a few little layers in it, but nothing's overpowering something else. There's
Yeah.
quite a subtle
I was worried it
nuance
was going to
to
be bland because there was so much happening.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's not. It's not actually like a muddled, shitty Johnny Walker style blended malt. It's actually or blended whiskey. It's actually got
No
some
shots
character
fired
in
or
it.
anything like that, right?
Right?
Second?
No shots
that?
fired.
No, not at all.
So I'm not gonna make my blend because it's 10 in the morning for me. So
Yeah, which is
I mean, I
fair
didn't
enough.
start pouring anything till noon here, so.
yeah, but I did
It's only a
grab
little.
what I think if I was going to
Oh, okay.
assimilate and what have you. So and it's
So later, when the Borg do assimilate, well, you actually rephrase that. So later on, when you simulate your collection and you present it to the Borg Collective, you'll have to give us your notes.
yeah, maybe I'll try blending it and doing that. Whenever
Yes.
I turn into a Borg and create my own little hive mind, I will.
Exactly.
Take
Simulate your collection.
But
Well, I'm starting. I mean, I've got my green regenerative alcove, and I've got my assimilated whiskey here, and
Yeah, you're on the right track right there. Obviously, my base would be some Knob Creek single barrel. So I think it's got the proof, the right amount of spice, kind of thing. But then we kind of up the proof and also kind of increase the sweetness. Again, I only have a sample of this, but with some obtainium, because this stuff is just so like sweet and easy to drink, but such a insane proof. that I think it would just blend well. And then we kind of bring it back down, but also add some age with some Elijah Craig 18. And I think that would just make, you'd get like the oakiness, really added on. I mean, because this is a 9-year Knob Creek single barrel. So I think that oakiness, the base of Knob Creek, and then, yeah, I can't do that. Y'all do you, but I can't do it. and that sweetness, but like bringing back up the proof with the Obtainium would just blend into the ultimate Borg whiskey.
Excellent. Yeah, you'll definitely have to do that and give us some minutes.
I guess mine's more of a Borg bourbon, just straight up.
A Borg bourbon. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see it at Cork's Bar soon.
Prune juice.
Oh boy.
Hey guys.
Hey.
You going to
like-
simulate something?
Yeah, it looks like Donald on Ryza.
Yeah.
Still on my way home from work. Ended up having to go in for a few hours this morning.
You can run Lieutenant Commander, but you cannot escape.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've augmented. I forgot to add the Irish Chateau Baton green label. So
Okay,
I added
yeah.
that to my. Yep.
Yeah, I think the Borg, if they were going to assimilate anything from me, they'd go straight for my Middletons.
They would.
Yeah.
Probably the Port Charlottes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody just got really excited.
I'll have to make that.
If I have any whiskey regrets, it's the last time I was at Maid Liquor. I was just staring at a bottle of Port Charlotte. I was just like staring at it. It was like, you're in the beer, but it's there. The beer there, left without it, and I'm like, you know what?
Should have got it.
Like, just dance, fuck. And every time I'm like, shut up.
Should have got it.
I could have had a whiskey here too. Rookie. It was a rookie mistake. And I know better now.
As long as you've learned your lesson.
Yep.
I haven't been lucky enough to find another bottle.
Oh, boy. Hey, Jim, look at the hat I wore just for you, sir.
Oh, fuck off. It's a hockey thing, guys.
I
Don't worry.
hereby declare this a successful Borg assimilation of my whiskey collection. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might have to
So,
blend
what's it?
a few more versions of this with different ratios.
So, what's everybody's blend like?
Mine's good. I mean,
Who else has actually
Yeah.
blended this? Because I haven't tried mine yet. Who else has actually blended this? Because I know why Adriana isn't, which is very understandable because you only have like those samples, and I support you leaving them alone.
Yeah.
Like, well, what about Joe and Brian and Jim? Like, what's happening?
A boxing match in a glass. That's what.
oh, it didn't work.
I mean, I wouldn't say it didn't work. I don't know if I got the ratios right. Because basically, it could be the whiskeys I use, because it's just like a back and forth, like get a little bit of like the smoky sherry of the Bunnahabhain, and then all of a sudden the Seawalk Loman comes back with the apricot and the fruit, and then it goes swings the other way. It just keeps going.
Yeah, sometimes
it's not married.
Yeah, sometimes blending 2 + 2 = 85 or negative 150.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, it can be tricky.
It's not bad. And Chris, yeah, it's one thing to be open at 10 and buying a bottle of whiskey, it's another thing to be drinking it at 10. Or 8.
Yeah, when I get home, I'll throw together a bit of Octomore and the Middleton Dar Gaelic, or some of the Port Charlotte
Ooh.
Oh,
and the Middleton,
Yeah.
just to see how that turns out.
That's what's been right before you got here. I was thinking if I was going to do an assimilation, it would be my Hibiki Harmony, David's 11.1. And I was just like, I'm not touching the 11.1. Like, I'm not doing that for myself, because that's just like, that's trash for me. But I'm glad you popped up, because now you can use that and you can let us know like how damaging to every other whiskey that Octomore actually is going to be, unless you.
Oh, that's why you use just a tiny amount.
Yeah, like you have
That's
to
all you
be
need.
spot on. Otherwise, you're going to destroy your blend.
Yeah.
I had to talk about this because this is peated. And it's like, if I use too much of it, it's just going to walk moment into oblivion.
Is that the Bunnahabhain Toshik?
Ada, yes. Or Aga.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool.
Gesundheit.
Pretty good.
Yeah, well, when Eric Waite did the review of it, he put up a thumbnail with like the Klingon symbol on it
Yeah, you did.
beforehand. Yeah,
That's what I was
that.
saying. I was like, it just sounds Klingon to me.
yeah. All of
Yeah.
Bunnahabhain's stuff is Klingon and phlegm.
Yep.
Klingon.
What the fuck, Aga?
Yeah.
Scotch Gaelic.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Brag.
I will assimilate all your whiskey all hours of the day.
Yep. It's a lovely
My
day
blend,
Listen,
it definitely
Yeah.
looks like Riser.
Right?
out. Well, it's going to go up over 30 degrees today, but so far the humidity's not too bad, and there's a nice breeze.
Immediately Googling 30 Celsius in Fahrenheit. Okay.
Oh.
86.
Yeah, I think it's
80?
86. Yeah.
Doing the conversion.
Yeah, I was going to say 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 99 degrees here yesterday, so
Oof.
It's starting to get warm.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
You're on the way. You're on the way.
yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
just
that's
a little
it. It's
bit.
starting to get warm.
Yeah.
it's 85 here.
Okay.
85 feels like 86.
About 30,
However, it is humid here right now.
Nice.
It's about
Oh.
30 here.
Actually, it's not as bad. It's only
30s.
40% humidity, 60 degree dew point. So, but it's supposed to
Fahrenheit.
get worse.
Oh, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's
I was like,
Yeah,
that's super
it's
warm
supposed
for
to
an
get
hour
in.
right now.
I'm in the U.S. with
Yeah,
you.
it's-
Come on.
No, I
Why am
meant
I speaking
Ken.
in Celsius?
No, Ken said
Yeah.
it's about 30 here, and I wasn't sure now which he was speaking. I was like,
Yeah,
Oh, I do
it's
that with
gonna
Celsius.
super warm right now.
it's gonna get into the mid 90s here, feeling into the hundreds with the humidity later in the week. So it's gonna be pretty bad, but today's pretty good.
I don't miss
Oh,
humidity.
it's not 30. It must be 49 because I'm at 10 degrees Celsius, the same as Chris.
That sounds lovely too.
Why?
That is ridiculous.
Why? Sorry,
Evan Frederick.
why do we need to know this?
Did the
You
Borg
missed that whole
have
back
that
and forth.
conversation?
You missed that whole conversation with Frederick.
I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
saw that.
I was like,
So,
Yeah.
going back to the Borg,
Oh God! Julius was like, "What the fuck?"
what is everyone's
What?
opinion? What is everyone's opinion on the Borg Queen?
oh my god.
I have an opinion on the Borg Queen. So, you foolish humans don't understand that the Borg does not like good tasting whiskey. They already have a blend and it tastes very bad, but it is efficient.
Yeah, Borg mineral oil.
It is Lady
Yeah.
Jane Walker.
Okay. I think the Borg Queen, it was just a waste to come up with that concept. Like, I understand when they refer to the hive mind and they're modeling it after bees, you know, but still, would have been much more mysterious if it were just the actual collective, and a hell of a lot more scary too.
100% agree.
Yeah,
When
but
they were
going-
just the Borg with just the hive mind collective without a queen, they were. It was kind of mysterious and menacing at the same time. Whereas when they bought the queen, it's like, well, okay, you kill the queen, you pretty much kill the whole hive mind. But then they added
Yeah,
in, well, she
exactly.
just regenerates into another drone and blah blah blah. But
Yeah,
it made it focus to her instead of the whole. The Borg were just, yeah, they weren't as scary
it's like going to-
overall. That it was just her.
yeah, it's like going to IKEA and just focusing on the sofas. Right? You're not overwhelmed by the whole damn warehouse at the end of the store.
Yep.
I think I'm more okay with it. I think I'm more okay with it because it kind of allowed them to move that story forwards. Like,
Well-
you can only keep the whole, like, they're a mystery, they're a hive mind thing. Like, you got to be able to do something against them at some point, and it made it a way to create a movie around that, and actually target them, and like, because they'd already tried the virus thing, and it only kind of partially worked or whatever. So it's just like, I think it was a way to change up that story without it just being repeatedly, oh, they're just like this broad hive mind thing, and there's nothing to grab onto there.
People like a
Yeah.
focal point. They need some kind of actual enemy thing rather than
And yeah, like
broad.
that interaction, be able to have that, like, dialogue sort of thing. Like, I think she was a bit too overdone in that she was like too, like, sensual and too human sort of thing. I can't hear
Yeah.
the wind.
Oh, my apologies.
I think the commander is spineless. The Borg Queen, we all love her, and we do drink her whiskey morning, noon, or night.
Well, going back to the books once again, and going back to the book that I was talking about, they actually handle that issue, because there's a whole bunch of subplots. There's like two subplots. One of them is Picard he has no ship. He's been recruited for a mission to go to a starbase to figure out what the Borg are doing. And at the end, it's them trying to take out this particular arm of the Borg collective, and they do that by destroying a central node, so that the entire chain of communication through that whole arm of the collective is gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So similar to Unimatrix Zero in Voyager.
I'd have to watch it. Admittedly, I'm up on the original series. I'm up on Next Generation. I'm spotty on Voyager, and really spotty on Enterprise. I'm pretty good on DS9.
What's funny is they actually had a race in, I think it was the Next Generation, that could have been Borg-ish, except, they changed everything around with the Borg. It was, what were they called? They dealt in just zeros and ones.
I was going to say the binaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the closest you could get to, like, being Borg-like, where everything about them was in a computer. But, of course, one solar flare and it all just falls apart, so.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, they wouldn't have been as scary. I mean, could the central node communicate, though? Because I feel like the thing is having the dialogue with the enemy, that makes, that helps make for that interesting plot.
It probably worked better. That probably worked better in the book than it would on the screen. Yeah. All they did in the book was they had to figure out where it was, and then use transwarp to get there, and then they beamed down and had to throw a massive switch, which destroyed the whole planet and killed Kirk. And that's all I'm saying.
There's always a switch. Who put that switch in?
Right?
That is fair.
Who does that?
Who designed that switch? Aren't we supposed to be Borg? Aren't we supposed to be efficient and get perfection? Put a switch in.
So we were talking earlier about the whole Borg retcon thing with Enterprise. You want crazy Borg retcon? So in this book, they actually tie the motion picture back to the Borg, because they imply that V'ger was, which we know was the Voyager satellite, that whole thing was done because it encountered
a Borg,
some branch of the Borg, and they reconfigured and rebuilt it. And so when Spock mind melded with it, he was touched by the Borg. It's like, oh, what the? No,
No.
that's just too much. That's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. I'm gonna jump off because I gotta go into the shops. But take care, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right, mate.
See you down.
Cheers.
See ya.
Cheers.
Yeah, there is no Borging spot. Stop it.
But they use that to explain why. Go ahead.
I got a plugin that has a preset called Vija.
Oh, no way.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's like an echo chamber.
I hate that.
It does really sound like DJ.
It does, it's cool.
Now you just have to have the 20-minute approach with lots of just...
Exactly, with just the ambulance and the music and all the angles of the Enterprise, yeah. So we'll do that when we get our ship design.
Yeah. Sorry. I like it. Did everybody do... No, Brian, you haven't done your blend. And, and Joe, you did. Dean, what?
I'm busy doing
I reckon I need to revisit this to get the ratios correct, because I actually added only small amount of the Lagavulin 9, but the peat doesn't come through that strong. I actually get more of the Highland peat from the Benriach 21, a more smoky note on the nose. The sweetness of the wine and the sherry is first on the palate, and then the underlying tone is the American style whiskeys are coming through, like a underlying base. And then there's go back for the finish.
So you're not getting any of like the savoriness from the peat?
No. So I have to mess around with the ratios a bit more.
Yeah.
It's good though. I like it, but yeah, there's a couple little spots missing that I need to change it up. It's got a really nice, rich, creamy mouthfeel though. It actually tastes good.
It sounds interesting.
Was this Matt? Is that meant to the Matt add needs the effect? Is that HD you mean? Not exactly sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Emily.
Yeah, g'day, Emily. So, if anyone else wants to come in and talk about their Borg, who created the Borg? Good question.
I just figured they were like
Created
V'ger
the
and kind of
Borg.
self-creating.
Yeah. Mate was just cute, just to mess around with Picard.
I don't think he even cues that sadist.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not that bad. But going back to what we're talking about with the Queen, I actually, I can understand the idea of having a focal point to focus on, but I actually like that they didn't have a focus point to focus on. I found that more scary and menacing.
Yeah.
That they were just everywhere and all one, but not.
Yeah. No, I think that
like
I think that did really make it, but I just think as far as like ever getting the story to any kind of conclusion, without it just becoming a constant and not moving it forward, they kind of had to create a focal point in order to have that that interaction and everything. And you need answers in the end. There's got to be a reveal. If the mystery is just a mystery forever, then it's like, well, the story never ended and it didn't go anywhere. So.
But even without the Queen, they still really delved into that in quite a bit in Voyager with, and even with Data and Hugh, how that separation from the collective and how that spread and how they had that subconscious dream state where they could connect and communicate, and then with Species 8472 and then the virus where they can infect the Borg. That was all advancing it, and making it a bit more
Yeah.
interesting without
Didn't
the Queen.
First Contact come out though before Voyager? I
Yes.
could be totally wrong on that. Okay.
The Queen did, yes. Yeah, she was
Wait.
the Queen. The new version of the Queen was in Voyager,
Okay.
with like Unimatrix Zero and everything like that. But yeah, First Contact came out first, if I'm correct.
That's why I brought up the binars. It feels like they could have gone
Actually,
that direction with the Borg, but they just chose not to.
no.
It would have been
Yeah.
very complicated too. I mean, that's a hard thing to explain.
Yeah, to keep putting it into just one versus.
Yep.
Voyager
But that's something
debuted
that Star Trek's always done well. Is actually explain that complicated stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Blame the writers' strike. They're like, no, screw it.
Yeah,
Queen,
yes,
done.
Yeah, just whack a Queen in there.
Yeah. I mean, yes, appearance-wise, we saw the Queen first in First Contact, but Voyager debuted in January of '95. First Contact came out in '96.
So yeah, basically, it beat any
a little bit of
Borg
noodling going on there.
Any Borg, but like any real Borg presence in Voyager, probably didn't come out until after First Contact, though.
Probably.
They also had another
that's
thing I
right.
wanted to touch on that we all know and like was they didn't even have a name. Now that I think about it, I tried to look it up and I didn't find anything. But the bugs that got into people's heads.
Oh, the parasite conspiracy?
Yeah, even they had some kind of Queen thing at the end, where it's like they were all implanted in people's brains, and then at the end, that horrible scene where it just exploded.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they had something like that in mind already, but I guess they decided to just go with it.
Exactly.
That's a terrible episode.
Literally in mind. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like
literally, but yeah, those parasites. That was the original plan that became the Borg. They were going to carry that through and make that some sort of ongoing thing, and
that would be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, and
I mean, the Borg are pretty terrifying, but bugs that live in your brain are pretty terrifying too.
Like all these parasites. I mean, except the problem with that is I think if you carry that forward, you start getting into just pure horror territory, and then it just gets weird.
Yep.
It's like I think you lost the sci-fi thread.
They did it on. They did something like that on Stargate, I think. A whole different series, but I remember some kind of mechanical bug things that would just.
With the replicant, the replicators.
Replicant, yeah, that's what they were.
Yeah,
they didn't get in your brain; they just assumed everything.
The entire thing about Stargate is they've got their hosts. Like they have those stupid bug thingies.
No, not those ones. We're talking about the replicant, the nanotech ones that came through and just wiped everything out. That was so devastating. Not the actual
whatever it was, and everything. Yeah.
Similar thing. They oddly enough, they live in someone's stomach and then they get in your brain. Oh, okay.
They cohabitate with that parasite in their abdomen and everything faster.
Yeah, but that's Jadzia style. That's symbiont.
Yeah,
symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, sci-fi is just running out of body parts to put things. So
I'm just running out of cavities. Never mind.
The replicators, they were menacing. They were scary.
Yeah, but even the replicators, they had to eventually form a humanoid thing. If you've watched the series, sorry, spoilers, but eventually they did decide to humanize themselves.
Well, it's been out for a while. I mean, if you haven't watched
it. Yeah, I know. It's like, if you haven't watched it, sorry.
Yeah, we're not talking about aliens. Get out of here with that.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
so, in your collection...
I'm sorry. It's okay, Whiskey Pilgrim. I got your back, man. I'm an aliens junkie. I got you. So good.
He still hasn't done his blend, his assimilation.
Oh, your blend, yes. Number one.
It smells pretty good, actually. It's got... I added, tablespoon? Teaspoon? Not tablespoon, that would have done me in. Teaspoon of 4 of them. So it's the 4 Roses, the Alberta Premium, the Bullet, and whatever the other one was, which I can't remember. Oh yeah, the Knob Creek 60% one. And it smells pretty nice, actually. It's kind of flowery and floral and fruity and spicy, which I like. It's actually reminded me of the 4 Roses, but I put that in last. So hopefully that's not what's doing it. I'm spinning around a bit.
So it's kind of like a chill blue rye.
Yeah, it smells lovely as far as smelling it goes. I haven't tasted it yet. But I like it so far. It's not grossing me out or being weird. The taste is what I'm worried about because the proof might just be like.
I'm curious how the rye notes are going to come out because Alberta does have such strong rye notes, but you've got
Yeah, I expected more
all
from
this
that,
other.
but
I think that 3-1 against it might.
true. That's the win thing. Wasn't going to put in the 4 roses initially, but then I was like, well, I did mention it, and it's a high enough proof. I might as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
What proof is the 4 roses single bar?
I believe it's 52 something.
Okay.
52 point something. And this is a select bottle. 52%. Okay. Ooh. I was right. Sorry.
I do remember, Donald, at the beginning of that episode when you see Data with all those Borg that, were separated from the collective after Hugh. And you're like, just before that, the intro part, and they're like, oh no, here we go. Data's got his own collective of the Borg. Oh shit, what's more scary than that? Because that was before the Queen. That was like, oh shit, Law is in control of the Borg. Uh-oh.
I mean, and
yeah.
I was reading that, and my first thought was, well, wouldn't that just be the same as the Borg Queen? But then I thought again, well, no, because the Borg Queen, she wasn't quite the narcissistic asshat that Laura was.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas Law, oh my god,
that would be scary. Freaking Laura would just march an army on Earth and kill everybody.
Yeah.
They go, oops, did I do that?
Another special mention.
Yep, that beginning of that episode was like, oh shit.
It was a Voyager episode where they actually found some Borg that got disconnected from the hive. And they kind of did a thing without a queen on their own because they got disconnected from the hive. They landed somewhere. They survived-ish. But then the differences came out, the different species that hated each other. And they kind of wanted to go back to being Borg where they were all kind of harmonious. And they got around to it eventually. Yep. And they became their own little thing. So completely separate from the Borg, yet connected. So technically they are the Borg you would have liked, except I think they kept their individuality a bit.
Yeah, because that was an interesting twist. They were communicating through the when they were in regeneration state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were a little bad though. They did use it for their own gains on other people. What was it, Chakotay? When they had to help him.
Yeah, that's
manipulated him a little bit.
Yeah, that was interesting. So the next question is, in your collection, number 1 came up with this, so Brian came up with this in the Discord. What whiskey has assimilated you? So what is a whiskey that you can't live without, that is one of your favorites?
We're talking individual whiskey, we're talking distillery, or...
In my head, I went with distillery, like what has suddenly spread more of into my collection. But there are a few favorites, the ones that I want to have constantly, and I keep going back to, kind of thing.
Yeah, so okay, we'll make it 2 questions. So yeah, what distillery? We know what Adriana's is. That's
I'm like, I don't really have to answer.
Yeah, we know that one.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, so what distillery has pretty much? Yeah, you can go in regenerative state.
Oh my god, the
chat. Laura's a different kind of queen. Ensign assimilated Joe is we drink Lady Jane. That is it. Mine would be Glen Scotia. This has definitely assimilated me. I have quite a few bottles of Glen Scotia. Everything they bring me out. Like Knob Creek, I'm in love with the stuff. Everything they bring out is just good.
I tried one when I was on Whiskey Cruise. Like they sent me a sample, and that one was really good. I do remember that. I mean, I had a bunch that night, but I do remember that one really standing out. So
I do remember you liked the Campbelltown Funk.
Yeah. That one was good.
And that was the double oak, the one you had.
I'd have to pull up the thing, and my computer already is angry enough. I'm wary to
oak,
open
if I remember correctly.
possibly.
Because
Yeah,
I didn't have it, and I've only just got it, and yeah, I really like it too. It's lovely sherry deliciousness. with
Yeah, that
kind
sounds
of
right
funk
then.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. That was a standout of a lot of great Finnish beats. So
And I was happy that you liked Lagavulin.
yeah, I dig the Lagavulin.
Lagavulin is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donald has definitely been assimilated by Middleton. Definitely sure. For
Yep,
sure.
yep. Yep.
Emily's like, we are all Dingston.
I'm okay with that.
Yep. Frederick's Springbank Distillery. Yep. He's definitely assimilated it.
Mm.
Who else?
I mean, the problem I have is if I just scroll through my master list on my spreadsheet, it's like a 10-way tie. Okay, not maybe 10, but like a 6-way tie because I've got like 5 or 6 distilleries where I have 3 bottles from them. So there isn't any one real distillery that's got a real grip on my collection. I've just been assimilated by whiskey.
Then is there a bottle? Because it could go both ways. It could either be bottle or a distillery.
Hmm. Good question.
So if there was only one distillery left, well, yeah. What's the distillery that you would assimilate? Or it's assimilated you. You're in love with it. Everything they make.
I mean,
It could.
if I had to pick one that so far I haven't had anything bad from, it would be Bunnahabhain.
Good choice.
So far, I've had the 12. I've had the Stewarder. I've had this one, the Sakakaga. I've even had an independent.
So the Klingon drones have assimilated you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Comply.
Very true. I think that's beamed me up in Klingon.
I mean, basically, Knob Creek 12, Knob Creek single barrel, and the sample of 15 year that I had, like that limited edition 100 proof 15 year. I really, really like. I know a lot of people feel like it's over oaked, but I really dig it. So I guess those are my top 3. I mean, it's not like, I mean, I've just gotten some samples of some of their special releases, like their 2001 small batch or the 25th anniversary, but I haven't really popped into those to know if they beat out my current top 3, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious choices,
Nice.
probably.
So Ensign assimilated Joe. Are you saying that it's just going to be Johnny Walker Jane and that's it?
It's going to be Johnny Walker Jane, but don't forget, we are tater hunters.
So well.
Borg potatoes.
Borg potatoes.
Borg taters.
Borg potatoes. Yeah, there we go. We've got a third in. It's motion carry.
Yeah. Communications officer, what would be your distillery that's assimilated you?
Well, before I do that, I'm going to tell you how my blend went because y'all were assholes to ask.
Well, you took too long, but yes, please do tell.
I didn't. I've been sitting here waiting very patiently.
Yeah, because she held up her notes a while ago.
Oh, that's right. My bad. I'm
Shitty
a bad boy.
man. I'm a fan
Go
of
hide in the corner.
So I did a base of my 12, the double oak, because I love it. It's just fantastic for me, and I thought it'd be a really good base. I mixed about 10 mil of the Singleton Malt Masters and 10 mil of the Naked Grouse into it, and it smells amazing. I was really surprised. It smells like burnt honey and like brown sugar, which is expected because of how sweet the Naked Grouse already is. I was expecting that to just completely wipe everything out. But it's really peppery, which, again, not surprising. Grouse is oak. Glenlivet double oak. And it's cinnamon. But then the moment I took my first sip, the very first thing on my list, it says, fuck off sweet.
Oh no.
I was like, shit. So now I'm thinking, well, what in the hell am I supposed to put in it to bring that out? And I was like, okay, so maybe something with a little bit of extra smoke, because I know I get that slight smoky undertone from the grouse, which is already in there. But it's still so sweet because it has those sweet malts already there. And it does have that spicy, like, kind of, it's almost like candied peppercorns. I know it's weird. It's like a weird combination, but it's like a candied orange and peppercorns. So there's that. But once that just in your face spice just kind of disappears, it's smooth, tastes kind of pineapple-y, and is really enjoyable. So I just have to find something. Like, I definitely would like drink this again, but I'd have to find something to put in here just to help with that initial like mouthful of sugar that you first get. So I don't know if it's just a ratio of the grouse to singleton to double oak. I'm not too sure, or if maybe putting some of my Bunny 12 in there might actually help. So because I have that, and like that might
that's a good idea.
I was just thinking like that might be an option as well. So
yep,
might give that a go.
That won't overpower it with peat, but it'll add a nice depth and nothing.
Yeah, I'm hoping it might round off that initial like obnoxious sugar, like burnt sugariness at the beginning. So yeah, that's my tasty notes. Fuck you guys.
So it's a pancreas exploder.
And my distillery, it's simple, it's really easy. A lot of people actually probably already aware of it, and it's Glenfiddich.
Does it start with a G and end with an idic?
Pardon?
Does it start with a G and end with an idic?
I was going to say, if anyone knows me, they know exactly what it is. So some people would guess Little Laddie, but that's because they know how much I'm a hoe for a classic laddie. I really am. But Glenfiddich have it. They were not my first whiskey, but they were my first favorite that I will just go to every single time. And our collection is growing. My favorite would definitely be their experimental line. I'm never bored. I'm never bored with them. I have absolutely no problem if ever the distillery just magically disappeared one night and Glenfiddich was the last one standing. I'd be happy with it.
There you go. Number one.
Yes, what?
The distillery that has assimilated you.
It was your question.
It was. I would probably just default to... Well, I have quite a few. There are a few that have just kind of started creeping up on me. Like, I didn't have duplicate bottles of things until recently. So, like, Wild Turkey is one, but I don't have a lot of bottles from them. Maker's Mark recently has made kind of a creeping into my collection, especially with the Founders sample pack I got a little while ago. But oddly enough, the one that's kind of absorbed my attention and is something I focus on a great deal in general is actually Four Roses, because I really liked the single barrel options they have. So when I see those on the shelf, I'm kind of like, oh, yeah. That's one of the few that immediately kind of been drawn towards me. So I have to say Four Roses is probably the one that I would like to have more of. But at the moment, it's more like Elijah Craig suddenly have a bunch of those for no real good reason. I blame Co-op Whiskey. It's his fault. He's got a problem. He needs an intervention with his Elijah Craig collection. He's been assimilated for certain.
Oh man, you missed it earlier. He passed out. Like we have screenshots to prove it. He passed out on the tribe chat earlier today, and we were like, how to tell that he passed out? We just spent like 5 minutes just ribbing on Elijah Craig, and he did not move a muscle. And then when we changed the subject, and out of nowhere, he just like, after like 2 minutes of a completely different subject, he wakes up and he's just like, what? He's like, I was awake, I was resting my eyes. And I was like, fuck off, man. I'm
surprised.
Last night. That's exactly the one he's talking about. The one where he fell asleep.
I'm surprised his internal sensors didn't go off at hearing Elijah Craig being dissed.
We were waiting for it. It was like any minute now, and they started talking about how Wild Turkey is better, and I was like, dude, he's gonna reshoot this phone and kill somebody. No, he didn't make any muscle.
Yep.
Look, he's sad. See, now I feel guilty.
Oh, you got a little sad. Oh,
Like the puppy eyes.
oh god, that's funny.
All right, we're coming up on 2 hours.
Yep, we're coming up to our official end of Whiskey Trek episode 4.
Red alert.
Red alert! All hands to battle stations. I need that sound effect, don't I?
The klaxon.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to end everything.
Okay,
It always seems like during a meeting of some sort. Honestly,
I could probably come up with something.
Like, oh god, red alert! We gotta go. Everything
Yeah.
stops.
Yep.
For everyone who was able to join us this evening, this is the Whiskey Trek. Welcome to the USS Dreadnought. It's been an absolute pleasure. Do not forget to hit this like and subscribe button. Do not forget to hit that little bell. It seems to be a fortnightly thing we seem to have kept this up for, other than I think one moment where we had technical difficulties as a majority. So we postponed that fortnight.
No, that's because I was doing a 24-hour stream, so that was my
Oh,
fault.
that was. I wasn't sure. I thought that was just a technical difficulty issue from the majority.
No.
Failed.
Yeah. The technical difficulty was I was streaming non-stop for 24 hours, so yeah.
But yeah, if you do want to see more lives like this, please, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell. The Nightbot, we'll get Ken to post up the social media links for you. Do not forget to like and follow those as well. A Patreon does exist. If you feel so inclined, please join. So it's been a good one tonight, actually. I've had a...
And if you would like to join the crew of USS Dramalotz, go on the Discord link is in the description. And also if you type !Discord, it'll come up with the link. So if you want to join the crew, you can put in your application and become a member of the crew. And if you would like to jump onto beam aboard the ship now when we go after we end the stream, and you'd like to have a chat about whiskey and put your application in to become a crew member aboard the ship, you can do so. The link is posted to the top of the chat. So we'll continue on for a few minutes after this. And that's about it. Anyone else for any more?
We still have 2 minutes. 1 minute.
We still have 2 minutes. 1 minute. And
1 minute.
You can
Oh, the
also
Whiskey
subscribe to
Wilderness
Kilco Whiskey Museum.
Oh
that
yes,
way.
yeah. Make sure
And
you
Whiskey
just
Mountains.
you subscribe to. We need to get a mod in here to put all the links. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Everyone put their links in. I kind of can't. I've got a bit of whiskey in front of my keyboard. I kind of can't.
I got 60 seconds.
Yeah, if you
got
just
60
search Kilco or Whiskey Mountains, then
Yeah.
Whiskey Mountains.
Find us.
Yep.
I hope it finds us through the algorithm.
Hobbit Who Drinks. He's got a channel now too.
so what is?
Hobbit Who Drinks.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what's it called? Is it called Hobbit Who Drinks?
Yeah, because I'm so original. I keep forgetting every time it's like, because I'm in like such a rush, like to hurry up and log in. I keep forgetting when you type in your name here, you're supposed to put fucking like whiskey track name, you dumbass, and then it pops up.
Exactly.
I see everyone else, and I'm like, fuck, I did it again.
You can just re-click on the link and redo it. You know?
There we go.
Yeah, but stop assuming that I have the energy for that shit. Lower your standards.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. There's no standards.
Lower your standards of me, Ken.
Yeah. So everybody who's in Whiskey Trek, make sure you put in your suggestions for the next episode, what you would like to see, and everyone on the channel as well. If you put it in the comments after the show is finished airing, you can put in your comments of what kind of Whiskey Trek you would like to see, what kind of episodes you would like to see us talk about, discuss, and any episode you'd like to see us do a watch show for as well. including
Yeah,
me.
but we want to have a watch party at some point. If you guys have a favorite episode you personally enjoy, please feel free to pop that in there, and
Yeah, put it in. Yep.
we can make a list and see how we go with that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Long Schlong's in the house. So yeah, if you want to join in, on the after party at 10 Ford, click on the link, and you can have some drinks with us. Until next time, live long and prosper.